What's going on, guys? Alec here from Oz Fury Gaming. I'm taking a sidestep from my usual Star Citizen stuff to talk about Anthem. It's a new IP being built by BioWare on the Frostbite engine and being published by EA. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is what the game is actually about and what our character is. So, we're a freelancer who pilots a Javelin, which is basically a giant exosuit, and we go into the wilderness to do missions of various different types. One of these types that we can see here is helping people such as this entrepreneur here who makes a bad business deal and decides to move his cargo with the wrong type of freelancer. Now, one thing I want to talk about straight off the bat is this game's being compared to games like Horizon Zero Dawn and Destiny. The way I see this game's ID sits differently is the fact that our character isn't some overpowered entrepreneur who's just being awoken randomly. We're actually just a normal person who has honed and worked on our skills to basically run missions and just do generic things. Now, obviously, we have no idea about the story, so the character that we build might be something similar, but I feel like that we're not just some overpowered generic person who sits above all characters. Now, the mission we get from this guy is called Hell or High Water, and it's rescue some worker. Well, good for him. But I want to talk about too how we get these security guys to actually move aside for us, which makes me think that we're a special standing of some sort though. Here we have Ally of the Week, which makes me think the social side of this game is going to be quite interesting and large in compared to other BioWare games where they've had some stuff but nothing to an extent like this. Now, we get into our Javelin here, as you can see it's quite comfortable and cushy. And note too that we have someone else working our suit, not ourselves, which is kind of a maybe difference for people who are in exosuits. Now, as we enter outside the wall here, I'm going to draw a bit of a comparison to Iron Man's suit here as the visor shuts, but also too, it reminds me very similar to Dead Space with the whole sort of extra armaments and pieces going on. Now, the Javelin that we have here is called a Ranger, which is basically jack of all trades. You know, medium armor, medium sort of mobility, medium sort of damage, that type of thing. Here we have a Colossus, which I'm going to compare to the suit we saw before, which makes me think that there are multiple different armor variations for the skeletons. So what I'm trying to say is you've got a base skeleton and you can set armor plating to certain parts of the suit to maybe like a maximum weight range or a mobility range. Now we have the jetpack here. At first I thought it was just a glider, but judging from the fact that she actually angles herself to be horizontal with the plateau, we can see that it is actually more of a jetpack than just a gliding suit. And so after flying down, let's have a talk about the world. We can see it's quite lush and jungle-ness business stuff. You know, the environment's very lush in greenery. But let's talk about the actual surrounding bits. We have a building and some other form of large structure above, which makes me think that the civilization was quite large. Here we have brickwork of an older building, and as we can see, a lot of it's collapsed into the spaces below. And this large creature in front of us seems to be biologically engineered or definitely has a different genetic makeup of anything on Earth at the moment. So this could also not be set on Earth, this could be somewhere else. There is not actually known what's going on with the storyline. Here we can see multiple of older structures, and as we dive down into the water here, note that we have this sort of rocky outcrop below, but as we start to come up we can see a smooth surface which looks similar to me as either a concrete or a metal type of walling. Appears to be a duct below as well, and as we enter up we come across some enemies. So we have the shotgun here, so that's really nice to see. It appears to be more of an energy based weapon as the sparks and everything fly away. And note too the enemies seem to be of a robotic state. So that's also another comparison to the good old Horizon Zero Dawn comparison. We come across a new ruin, but also note the abilities down the bottom there. Keep note for later because I'll talk about that a bit more. Note too, she's lost armor or shielding on the outside of her suit. So as we start to move on, we can see that we have a jump ability and a nice flying ability. And we also have this, with sprint ability, which we use the jetpack to move us faster. So we're not going to be having characters who have got insane biotics or anything. It's going to be all mechanically sort of based, which can bring in some really nice gameplay options in my opinion. As we move up, we can see some fighting going on, and we see a cargo hauler be taken down. One of these things was seen in the city before, so we can probably get the idea that people move cargo quite rigorously with these creatures, and they're not so much a creature or a AI, but more of a controlled personnel. You know, like someone actually drives it. Here we see the Colossus use a mortar, which has devastating effects. And then we get to see the Ranger do something kind of similar. The Ranger now has a sniper rifle out, picking off people from distance. And well, then she brings out the good old-fashioned homing rockets, which reminds me very much of Iron Man 1. So she fires them off. I'm going to cut back for a sec. As she fires them off, see she's got 300 of these little rockets. Now obviously this is done on the Xbox One, so you press the left button. But see also too, we have this scar ambush, sorry. So it tells me that perhaps on the maps we'll be able to see these things strewn across. So like, you know, you'll be scattering around, doing your stuff, and one of these may pop up. As we move forward, we can see the Colossus isn't super slow, but his mobility is definitely large base. So when he jumps really high. Not saying the Ranger doesn't, but you know, he takes a while to get up there, but he gets moving really high.
Actually, let's get some more people.
Now as we move in here, we get the storm coming through. No information on that, but we get this character come in, and we can see they've got some extra stats on the right hand side. What they mean? It's a good question. But note too that this appears to be another Ranger suit, but notice there's more armor around the hip area and on the back.
Hey, what's happening?
Then we get another character in who brings in what appears to be like an electromagnetic sort of ability, and we'll note that flies and is a lot lightly armored. Bit of a mage sort of character. We get a full squad together, and we can see all the different stats and levels and the profile pictures of each character. As we move down, we can see the mobility of different people, and I like to how the guy up who's in front of us actually has lights beaming down in front of him, which makes me wonder if we'll have different, well, our character has it too, but if we have like X-ray mods or heat tracing mods or things like that that our character can use later on, considering it's going to be mech based. So we can see the storm ravaging us, our area I should say, trying to ravage us. And then we get our mage character above, and note how she's actually floating, not just using the jetpack to fly, but actually floats. So with all this being said and done, guys, I hope you enjoyed my little pick apart of the gameplay trailer. If you're keen about the game, let me know and talk about it a bit later. Otherwise, I hope to catch you guys later and hopefully play with you guys too. Toodaloo.